Good morning. Happy hump day, everybody. It is Wednesday. We are on What's in Your Cup. As you know, I am Brian, the CEO, Pops. And today we have, please introduce yourself.
My name is Sandra. I'm from LoveBalls, and I am the single and only owner and person here. So that'd be me.
Well,
I have my little helper, AJ.
we can't, I was gonna say that we cannot exclude AJ. You're violating child labor laws. At least give the kid some credit. Okay.
He gets some credit.
So Sandra, this is your first live, right?
Um, on the reptile community, yeah, I do a lot of lives in my gardening channel. Um, I do gardening as well, so I do a lot of lives and stuff there.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm still gonna take credit for popping your cherry. And
You can have that.
I know it's been a really long time, and you never thought that you'd still be getting cherries popped at this stage of life. Okay. I see you have grown children also in addition to AJ.
Mhm. I have a 17 turning 18 and a 20 turning 21 this year.
Okay, that's cool. So AJ, you I've been coming after you for a while now to do a live, and you always use AJ as an excuse. So just so you
It's
guys
not okay,
understand,
dude. You
tell
don't.
them tell the viewers where you're located and what time it is right now.
It's Arizona and it's 4 o'clock in the morning.
And why did you choose to do this
So
show?
just know how special you are, okay?
I
Because
appreciate it.
anyone has seen me at 4 a.m. in the morning besides my husband.
But explain to them why you chose this today's show because I thought we were gonna do. You are a lover of not just balls, but you are a lover of spiders, and you know that that's one of my
Oh yeah,
favorite
we're
top
gonna do
dream.
a segment on spiders in the afternoon. Then
Right, and you were like, yeah, but AJ's gonna be
that's
all
really
over
not
me.
an excuse. Okay, seriously, I've been wanting to do videos for a while now. I actually bought my camera to actually like when I do my gardening stuff, I don't care about using my iPhone. It's like kind of whatever. But I kind of wanted to make my videos like more professional and nicer looking. For this business because the reptile thing I'm doing, it's kind of um, I'm taking it a little more serious than the other stuff I'm doing. So I even bought a better camera and all this stuff to get it going. And it's just every time I try to do something, I can't because like my child is like attached to my hip, and it's not just like a child that's attached to your hip. He like pokes and prods like all the time. He just turned 5, and he's got like really bad ADD.
He
So
looks tall for 5 years old.
yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah, I didn't know he was only 5 years old. That's how come whenever you're saying he's so rambunctious, I'm
He
thinking he's a
is like he will
seven,
sit
8 year
there.
old.
His face would be all up in the camera, going, "Hi, hi, can I say hi? Who is this?" And he won't, and it's just gonna be me the entire time going, "AJ, can you please go? AJ, can you please go?" And I can't even do my own videos because he's just always he's a very excited child. He's got a lot of energy, and it doesn't make me mad. It just makes it really hard to do anything. So and it's just gonna be me the whole time going, I'm sorry, this cat is gonna scratch me.
Yeah, being someone that has ADD or ADHD, I don't feel bad for you. We turn out to be awesome.
Yes, I
Okay.
know. I have ADD. He has ADHD. He hasn't been diagnosed, but dad has ADHD. I have ADD. So I know that child's gonna be really screwed up. We kind of
Yeah,
like
he
started
got
this
some
on
really
that
good
time.
genetics there. He got some really really good genetics there. Okay. It's like what I tell my daughter. My daughter is 24 now. And whenever she's having her issues with anything, I'm like, listen, between your bipolar mother and myself, you just are gonna have to learn how to control that brain. Control the issues, accept what you have.
Yeah,
You could blame me for the genetics. I chose your mom.
yeah.
That's it. So we have a lot of people in the chat box. I just want to say good morning to everybody. So it's so nice to see all of you up. We have Sandra with us from Love Balls. She thinks that I love balls as much as she does. She always leaves out the python. I think that she's throwing out little slick stuff. I don't know if you guys have ever had any direct communication with Sandra, but Sandra is extremely witty. She kind of reminds me of a Filipino female version of me. So I'm just giving you
How much are you
forewarning.
Filipino?
How am I Filipino?
How much? Like
How much?
like
I'm
an
only
eighth or something?
Filipino. I'm only Filipino when I speak to Filipinos. So it's like I'm. I just have to throw it out there, you know.
Okay, so you actually are not.
I actually am. I actually
Okay,
am.
didn't you say you were like an eighth or something?
A 16th. If we're gonna get
Oh, that's
technical,
right. You did.
I'm a
Yes, you
sixth.
said
Yeah. If we're gonna get technical, I'm a 16th. It doesn't get me anything. It doesn't even get me a free meal. But
that's okay. We
since
won't give you one anyways.
yeah, since I don't have much I mean, I'm Puerto Rican, and being Puerto Rican, you have diversity just by nature. You're of Spaniard, African, and Taino descent, but it's all clumped in one. So you say you're Puerto Rican. So when I did find out that I had other blood in my veins, it was like awesome for me, and that didn't happen until I was probably 8, 9 years old. It came up in conversation. It's not something that was um ever really mentioned until we got older. And then all of a sudden, all of us, there's like 20 something first cousins. We were all fascinated with the fact that, we only have one set of cousins that were Italian Puerto Rican. So they had diversity. The rest of us all were clumped into Puerto Rican, or like we consider ourselves New Yorkers. So my mother's mother. So my mother's maternal grandmother was 100% Filipino, but she had, a lot of stuff happened in the Philippines. So for whatever reason at that time, she had went to Puerto Rico, and that's how she met my grandfather, and that's how the story begins. But yeah, it hasn't gotten me anything yet. Like, if you're Native American, you could get like a scholarship in some schools and other stuff and a casino. And I'm
Oh,
like, gosh,
you're cheap. We ain't giving you nothing for free anyway.
goodness gracious. But I do love the fact though. I mean, it's kind of cool. I looked up some stuff. I looked it up with my son, my daughter, 7,000 islands. And it's interesting to see the Spanish influence on the culture, although there's been many different cultures throughout Filipino history. To see the Spanish influence, I mean, I've had so many clients that I think I'm
My
going to
last
see
name,
it. That's what I was going to say. Yeah,
my my maiden name is Santos.
exactly. And
Just saying. So,
that's
and
exactly what I mean. They're parts of New Jersey. I used to oversee a sales market in New Jersey, and there are parts of New Jersey that I would go to, and I'd have an appointment, and the name is Rodriguez, and immediately you think you're going to see a Spanish person, and the person opens up the door, and they look Chinese, not even Filipino, and I'm just like, "You're Rodriguez?" And then they would start explaining to me about history, et cetera, et cetera. So it's pretty cool. So Sean from Lever Genetics, who is just freaking awesome, is was the first person I ever did this show with, and we had spoke about mental illness and other stuff, and it's awesome because the name of his company is Lever Genetics, and it was genetics that actually really got me into the whole bull python world, not just the fact that like I said, with my daughter, with her mother's genetics and mine, and then my son having the sickle cell trait. That's actually what drew us into this, having to explain to him what that meant and etc. So the whole point of that is gardening. He brought up gardening, and I'm very intrigued myself because you're in Arizona. So who would think that somebody in Arizona would be a gardener? Can you explain that to me?
it's actually a lot harder. I had to relearn how to garden when I moved here. Um, we moved here in 2016. So just going on 5 years we've been here, and everything that I pretty much knew in California, like California was easy. You planted something and it grew. Like here, everything's like harder. It's like it's work, but I kind of pride myself in it. I probably have like in this entire neighborhood, like the only person that has like a garden like I do. Like my garden probably looks like it's in Hawaii. I have like bananas, plumerias, tropical fruit back there, and I just I'm not a fan of the desert, so I like to kind of
S-
have that at home to go to.
So Jose from Grab Your Balls wants to know if you're growing that Baba Z out there in Arizona. If you
No,
have that special herbal tea
no,
leaf.
no. Used to in California.
But I did see a post yesterday or recently, I believe it was yesterday. Actually, I have one of my two right here. The homie Mike, who does deal with that special herbal tea that he has in his cup. But
Yeah,
he's another Arizonian. I saw that you guys had connected. He dropped off a couple hats for you yesterday.
he lives a couple miles from me. He's actually moved 4 miles closer.
Well, I'm surprised you have connection because we had a horrible connection when we did our live,
Oh, I don't know.
and he blamed it on being in the boonies. So Sandra, and just for the record, her name is Sandra, not Sandra. Okay, like we the Puerto Rican women in the Bronx, they're Sandra. She's Sandra. So how do you make this transition? Where does this whole love balls and Herps come from? Obviously, it's a spin on your name, right? On your marriage name.
Hmm. My last name
So
is Love, so and I thought it would be kind of funny.
pretty
I've
cool.
actually had people like message me laughing and being like, "Love the name," and I thought it was witty, like you said.
It was. I remember when you sent me my stickers the first time, and then in the note to a guy who loves balls as much as I do. I was like, wow, what a prick. But it didn't click initially that this was
It's
a spin
actually
on your name.
funny because some people don't. It doesn't click. Like,
Right. It did not click for quite some time. So when it did click, it was like, oh, like that's really cool. First, you're just running with the whole love balls, ha ha ha. And then you're like, wait, that's her name. Like that is pretty cool. So how do you transition into ball pythons? How do you go from gardening as a hobby or a business? Now, do you do gardening as a business? Do you actually
it's a
profit?
side thing. Really, because ever since AJ was born, I've actually taken off work. It was actually only a plan to be a couple of years, and it kind of got extended. But it was something that kind of started in the beginning to kind of, get some income in. And it's a hobby. I've actually always gardened. Like ever since I was, these are actually two things that I've done since I was younger. I've always gardened and I've always had reptiles. Um, when I was younger, it was actually mostly bearded dragons and leopard geckos. I did have two normal snakes when I was younger, two normal balls, and that was probably like the first like time I bred. I was like really young. I was one of those young people putting two snakes together. So it actually bred ball pythons like when I was younger, and then like 15 years ago, I bred for a few years when like this was when like spiders were coming out. I remember one of the like first things that I bought. One of the first morphs that I bought was a bumblebee, and I was like, that's kind of like what really got me into like breeding and stuff, like really, really into it. I did
It's
my
what
first.
reconnected me. Samson, we went to, and like I told you, I'm going to try to talk less, but you see, I'm not good at it. Samson and I went to a show, and he fell for a spider head albino, and that just like literally opened up my whole world to the genetics.
Um, I'll message you later, lover.
Well, why don't we post it? Why don't you want to post your gardening page? I know you've done it on your
Send
IG.
my name now instead of Love's Balls and Herps. It's Love's AZ Desert Garden.
Desert is one S, right?
Hmm?
Desert is one S, right? Because you only want to cross a desert once, but you want to have dessert twice.
Yes.
Ah.
Hmm.
See, there's benefits to having kids sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, tax season and having to remember desert or dessert.
Yeah. And now
So,
the stimulus,
no, I don't. I don't. I don't know. I've never gotten a stimulus check. I don't. Yes, I don't know. I don't qualify. God bless America.
yeah, that's right. Oh wait,
But
is it garden? If the garden doesn't work, it might be gardening. I'm pretty sure it's garden. Yeah, yeah, I think so. If it doesn't work, there's an ing. Oh, I just saw he followed, so that's right.
okay, so it's correct. It's either correct or he figured it out on his own. Like the rest of it popped up. It's something close to that, guys. Okay, so you get into the bumblebee, you get into the spider gene. You're still a fan of the spider gene. You're still posting some really beautiful spider combos. So you're still working with the spider gene, and I'm glad to see that, and I'm hoping that at some point maybe a group of us can really put an effort towards promoting and changing the stigma on the spider gene. It's
Sure.
often it's often met with resistance. Um, it's literally ignorance, and I don't use the word ignorance in a derogatory term. I use it in its literal term. It's lack of knowledge. People they've seen a video, it's gone viral. They've seen the worst possible case scenario of a spider and its wobble, and
Oh yeah.
it's
You look. God, in the last week, I had somebody comment on one of my photos. Why would you breed spiders when you can just not? And my reply was, um, what did I say? I said, are you asking because you're genuinely curious, or are you asking to debate with me? Because the answer to my question would determine my answer to your question. And he never replied. And like, like, I don't get it often, but the few like negative comments I've gotten on my page have been about spiders. I think it's been like, I've had my Instagram for like a year. And I think I've had like three, three negative comments the entire time, which is not much.
not bad, right?
All three of them have been about when I posted a spider, and all three have always been, um, it had always been content that someone found through Explore and not like one of my followers. So it's normally someone that's not even in the industry. So it's normally someone that's not knowledgeable or doesn't understand it. I'm gonna get scratched by my cat.
I told you I hate those things.
It keeps jumping on the side of the armchair, and it actually scratched me yesterday, like really bad.
And we talk about how we have to support USARK. They're always defending our rights as keepers and breeders, and there's always issues with reptiles being evasive. Cats are one of the freaking most invasive species out there. So
Mhm.
why aren't they
And
getting
the
rid of
thing is,
cats?
I'll tell anybody, I'll tell everybody is I, I recently just had started having champagnes. I've had like spiders, like I told you, for like a long time. I recently just got into champagnes, and those things are so much worse. Like they okay, I only have a pool of two to look at. I'm not. It's not like a huge pool of breeding. I haven't bred them yet, but from the two champagnes that I have, I can tell you now those, at least mine, are like so much. I wouldn't say worse. They don't have a wobble, but they're really spazzy. I don't know. I've explained this to other people, and they agree. They notice the same thing with their champagnes, but they're very spazzy. Like I can't. If I open my champagne's tubs, they're chill. But as soon as I take them out, they're like zooming. They don't want to sit still. I don't know what you would call that, but they just, as soon as they're out of their tub, they're gone. Both my champagnes are like that, and I've talked to other people who have that same thing with champagnes.
We were speaking the other day. We were trying to identify one of your spiders if it had what were we looking for? The Enchi gene, correct? I think we were trying to see if it had the Enchi gene
That's
in it or not. and that one has a very subtle head tilt. So any of you that have Enchi, and if you ever notice that when it's laying flat, its head is not perfectly straight, that it's on a head tilt. It's kind of like how I used to wear my cap like this when I was a little younger, you know. So the Enchi has this very, very slight, minute head tilt that if you look for it, many of you will probably now find it and never notice it had it before. That's a neurological issue. I mean, we can go down the list from many of the super forms. I just picked up two mahogany pie females this week. Super mahogany issues, 8 ball issues, um, hidden gene woma. Like I said, we can go down a whole list of genes. Sable spider combo. We can go down a list of different combos and different genes that have their own issues. And the same people, it's one thing where you mentioned that um, it's usually, yes, blackhead. They say blackhead calms the wobble in some of the. It's called the neurological or the spider complex, but a lot of people call it the neuro complex. All of these that have those issues. So, hey, what's up? How's it going there? Balls and strikes. So Powerballs have issues. There's, like I said, there's a whole slew of them. So my thing is, it's understandable when you have someone that doesn't know, and I think that's why we're here, right? We're here to advocate and educate about ball pythons in general, not just the spider gene. But those that are in collections, that are in the hobby, that are breeding, and they're in, they're a dozen past in their collection already, and they still have this thing where they haven't researched it. I've had conversations with people in the hobby, multiple dozens of ball pythons, and they follow the stigma about spider. And well, you mentioned it, so since you mentioned it, let's talk about it. And then I'll ask them, do you have Enchi? You know, do you have cinnamon? Do you have black pastel? I'll go with the very basic, most common genes. Well, did you know that those genes have issues as well? No, you did not know that. So it's such a rarity. And like everything else, this is my big Korean bodyguard over here. And he said Batman have issues. They're too damn expensive. That sounds like people that have drinking problems. They don't have enough money to buy drinks. Uh, but yeah, I think that we have to educate people as much as possible. Obviously, you don't want to, pass the trade on. It's not guaranteed that it will pass the trade on of those that have severe wobbles or corkscrewing or whatever the case is, and try to phase it out. Mix it with combinations that it works well with. Avoid the combinations it doesn't work well with, and promote one of the most beautiful genes out there. I mean, what it does in combos is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm so with you on that. So besides spider, what else are what are some of your other favorite genes?
Recently just fell in love with the champagnes. I think I'm gonna throw that in a lot of stuff and get like a whole champagne thing going. Bananas.
So
I
champagne's a
love
combination you're
it.
gonna
How
avoid,
Mike and I
right, with
met.
spider.
Huh?
I said, champagne's a combination you're gonna avoid.
Yeah.
Champagne, okay, but not banana. Banana spiders are freaking awesome.
I have some of those. So.
Yes, they are
Uh,
absolutely. I have two female bananas. One has 4 genes. One has 7 genes. Both of them have spider. Both of them look extremely different, but both of them are beautiful girls.
yeah.
So banana
That's how
to
Mike
me,
and I
it's
met through a banana.
you say that again.
Mike and I met through a banana. I bought his
Oh,
when I had
okay.
first started because I actually hadn't kept. I actually had one. I had a bumblebee for a while.
Mike is Banana Bread Royals, guys.
Yeah.
another future breeder out of Arizona with the famous banana bread caps that we meet up at shows, and you're gonna find 4 or 5 people wearing them. So yes, Mike. I think he definitely started out with bananas and has a certain affinity for them, but he has really amassed a powerful collection. He has like a small boutique like type of collection, but it's powerful. So let's
Yeah.
talk about this ball python breeding, and you've been doing it for some time,
Mhm.
and now you're doing it with a little bit more passion, obviously more maturity as an adult. I was gonna say less distractions because you only have one child that you have to worry about instead of two, but that's really not the case because you got one very super child. Uh,
He's worse than the other two put together.
he's not worse, he's better. He's just honing his skills. Okay. He is honing his skills. So your
Look at
photos, you take really beautiful photos.
oh, thank
Um, no, they come out so artistic. They come out beautiful. You coordinate the colors of whatever else is involved in the photo. Did you take classes in photography? Is this just a natural? You have a good
you.
eye.
I mean, art has always been something that since I was young, I draw. Actually, that painting on the walls behind, right there, that's my painting right there.
Oh, okay. It looks like a photo.
Uh, that's a painting. Um, I paint. I've always painted. Um, I do art, so yeah, photography has always been one of those things too. So yeah,
All right, so these guys are listing all their favorite combinations here. What would be your favorite spider combination?
mine.
Yes.
Um, like right now, I'm working on anything like pretty much that adds to, like how like a lot of people like pies because they like that whole white contrast with the
White wedding
color.
is a nice
I like my contrast.
combination.
Um,
White wedding.
yeah, I like my contrast top and bottom. So I'm trying to create like high white stuff because I like my colors on the top and that whole white bottom. So I'm trying to do stuff that does that with like Calico, Sugar, Enchi does that. I'm going to get scratched by cats. Um, they're like attacking each other. Um,
I did mention I hate cats, right?
like yeah, I know, and I'm like afraid one of them is gonna run by me and just attack me. Um, so yeah, like right now I'm working on stuff that basically bring up that white. Like I don't know if you've seen some of this stuff. Yeah, I actually have somebody just said bamboo. I have a pairing right now with a pinstripe spider, so spinner, with my bamboo black pastel yellow belly, which I'm hoping some bamboo spinners, which think would look pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Uh,
Claudio, Casey Reptile Lab does a lot with bamboo, and I had asked him to send me some of the spider bamboo combos, and they're beautiful. I mean, you have to also know you're dealing with two dominant genes, so you have to know, what to mix together. I mean, don't pinstripe in there. You're dealing with three dominant genes, so it could make for some interesting results there. So
yeah, I think bamboo would go really well with spider. Just the fact that bamboo doesn't really do much for color changing. It's not a very good color changing. It doesn't go well with other color changing genes. So I'm trying to stick it with things that are more pattern changing. Sorry, you're gonna see me do that. My cats are like running everywhere right now, and they scratch me when they do that.
and you were worried about AJ.
I know,
Hmm.
right?
AJ could have controlled the cats. I mean, the list of combinations are just going on. They're just spitting out combo after combo in here. And this is what I'm talking about, like why we need to literally, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll have a talking balls session one day with a lot of people, you and AJ, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll showcase a lot of different spider combos, and we'll start promoting the spider gene and all of its beauty. I think that would be good, and I think it would be good to show some that have wobble and to show how minimal an issue it is. I mean, humans have so
Listen,
many issues.
if
Say
you're
that
gonna
again.
throw me into that, I'm gonna start like tagging you and everything, and you're gonna have to be my bodyguard because I'm just not that person to have to like really want to deal with the ignorance.
Oh, I'm that person.
Like, so I'm literally gonna tag you in everything. If you're gonna throw me in that, and I start getting some shit from people, I'm gonna be like,
Oh,
Brian, take care of this
oh
because
no,
I.
you'll have a whole posse. You'll have a whole posse. They'll regret it.
That's
We'll
what.
we'll all
I'm
jump
gonna
in
be
there.
honest. Be honest. That's a big reason. Like I normally like won't even reply to anything that when people get into that whole spider thing. I either won't reply, I'll leave it alone because if I get into it with people, it's just not pretty. So I'd rather just
Yeah,
not.
maybe we'll make a video, and then what we'll do is instead of having to
I agree
get
with Elijah. Spiders
yeah
are the best eaters. They are. My spiders have always been my best eaters.
the only snakes that I have that lunge out of the tubs are spiders. Like literally, I have a paradox, and as a baby, I would say she had the worst wobble of all the spiders, and I have quite a few.
Mhm.
And she was just so damn pretty. That the paradox, and she just came out marvelous. It's calming down, so they do minimalize the wobble as they grow sometimes, and she's experiencing that. Obviously, it is kind of like a nervous tick or associated with nerves. They get excited when they're going to eat. Sometimes they're a little skittish when you're about to go grab them. But as they settle down, as they grow, sometimes you will see it start to fade away. Obviously, it's still present, but it's not as prominent as it may have been one day. And hers is starting to calm down. But when I'm telling you that rat doesn't drop 4 feet on the tub, never does. Poor thing never makes it. Like she drags it in. Like as soon as I open up that tub, she's popping out. And a lot of them are very good eaters. I don't have spiders. Like I keep all my data, and usually if a spider missed a meal, it was in blue. It wasn't even that it was shedding. It was just in maybe a deep blue, and even rarely with that as well. So okay. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. You could definitely tag me, and I'll bring a little posse over there, and we'll set them straight. Or we can be nice about it, and we can maybe set up a video with a whole bunch of spider combos, and even include some with wobbles, maybe show some feeding and how well they eat, and educate
That's
somebody,
the
and we
thing
can
now. Like I don't know if I'm gonna look negative saying this. It's like I kind of give up on those people because it doesn't. It seems like those people are just set in their opinions. Like it's kind of like a high horse thing. Like, oh, you guys are terrible and I'm not type of deal. At least that's what I see. I, I should probably say that a lot of my opinion mostly comes from Facebook rather than me.
oh, there you go. That's the problem. I mean,
I don't post
cult.
in
That's
Facebook.
cult book. Face cult. I
It's like
mean,
those people are freaking crazy. There's something wrong with those people. Oh my god. Like,
yeah. I'm still in the
but
groups.
yeah, I'm in them. I see you in some of the posts. Like, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
I'm still
she's
there, and
yapping over there, and I read your name sometimes. I was like, okay, I'm just quiet. I don't say anything back to these
sometimes
people.
I'll chime in, and I'll just throw something out there. I'll get them riled up, and I won't even be back for 3 months. like sometimes I do it just in ten, like recently, and I don't know if anyone here is going rah rah. And I agree with you,
Mhm.
Troy. I think it is our job to educate people on spider. We had an issue
Agree.
where Jason from Canadian Reptile Adventure sold someone a spider, and she was very very new, and she was one of those to me that was moving too fast and too furious. I remember after she got her first snake at a reptile show. She's already like DMing me, asking me for lists on everything she needs to breed. And I'm like, well, before you go and you ask me to give you all of this time, why don't you learn husbandry, learn how to regulate your temperatures, figure out what you're feeding? Why don't you learn about that one that you have now before you even want to, consider jumping into breeding? Besides the fact that I'm not just sitting here at your beck and call. I mean, that that was another reality. And she's no longer on Instagram. She phased out. She backpedaled out of that deal because she said that she had done research after he sold her a nice spider combo, gave her a great deal. She saw a video and all of a sudden wanted to back out. And I said, well, this is something that we have to look at the future. And if you're selling a spider, we should educate the person, especially if they're new, and let them know what they're getting into. To me, it's more about making them feel secure in their decision than coming across a thread with a lot of backlash and everything else that can come with that. She also failed to follow through on another purchase. So, like I said, this was someone that you could see was going too fast, too furious. She went to a few more shows. She bought a few more animals at shows. She didn't complete deals on animals she made deposits with a few people in the community. So, and now she's no longer there. So the face cult. Recently, the big topic has been PayPal, and I'm sorry for anyone that I'm really not sorry. So let me not say that. I hate it. It sucks that some people got their accounts locked up. Okay, but if you read PayPal's terms of service, many people have been violating it for a really long time. Um, in addition, everybody does friends and family when, let's be honest, you're not friends with the person you're sending money. You're not related to the person you're sending money. You are purchasing goods, right? And that's why they have goods and services where you're supposed to pay a fee for. That's how PayPal makes its money. That's how they're able to operate this service for us, right? So everyone's bashing PayPal, which I have PayPal over 20 years easily. PayPal is pretty much connected to eBay, so I have PayPal since eBay started. And I'm just laughing at the comments and everybody bashing PayPal and all of this nonsense. Like, you have gotten away with it. Be happy that you got away with not paying their
The $3.50 per hundred.
right. Be happy
You know
you've
what I
gotten
think?
away with it.
You know what
You
I
know.
think it is? I don't think it's that people don't want to pay that fee. I think it's more because they want the protection that it offers.
Well, here's the irony. That's a catch 22. And I agree with you on that. And that's the fear of goods and services, because I'd rather not use PayPal if I don't know you, because the fact is, goods and services, you back out, you get your money, and you keep my animal. So strong reality to that. So I agree with you on that. But then on the flip side, friends and family, you don't know this breeder, and you're probably going to get hustled and never get an animal. So there is, a catch
Actually,
22
I
to both.
just downloaded and I'm gonna start using Square now. Because before I took PayPal and Zelle, um, I'm adding Square to that, and I might veer away from PayPal
Well, I
as
have a question for you before I answer your question, Jose. Um, we are, especially in the snake world, I would say all have genetic issues, whether it's mental, whether it's physical, whether we're tall, short, fat, have ADD, ADHD, Down syndrome, sickle cell, a lot of genetic flaws. Should we not breed? Should we not have children? So that's what I want people to think when they're thinking about the spider gene or any other gene that has a flaw to it.
well. Okay, so that's kind of like my same thing. And then you'll hear people say, well, you can't compare snakes to people, you know, humans and snakes are different. That you can't use that as a valid reason. And I kind of, I don't know, I think I may have told you this, I don't remember if I did. But my oldest son actually has a lot of medical problems. And I think I come with my issues on the spider, not the issues on the spider, but like with my opinion on the spider, a lot of it, truthfully, has to do with my personal experience, the way I think about it, because I do have a child with lots and lots of medical issues. Um, it's a barrage. Like with my oldest son, I actually spent the first 5 years like living in the hospital. Um, just to say that, you know, that's how many issues my oldest son has. And it just kind of, when people say, well, you shouldn't breed anything that has issues, I do kind of take that a little bit to heart. Like as a parent of someone that has children with issues, like I know I shouldn't bring that into humans, but it's just the way that it sounds. Oh, you shouldn't breed anything. Yeah, things that have issues shouldn't be bred. It just that kind of, it just leaves a bad taste the way people say it. Like that kind of like tells me, oh, your child shouldn't breed, you know? And it's like, I know it's different. I'm very well aware of that. But to me,
But is it different? Spider is not a genetically man-made creation.
right.
Spider is found in the wild. Many animals have it. So that's my point. My point is, if it has a wobble
Mm-hmm.
and it eats and it can breed and it has no other defect but a wobble that doesn't affect its health in any way, shape, or form, then I see no problem with it. And
Okay.
since you can't, like I said, you can try not to pass the wobble along if it has a severe wobble, but there's no indicator whether or not it's going to pass or not. They're known to have it. Just know what you're getting into, and if it's not your cup of tea, don't drink it. Okay, but I'm 5'7". I'm not even the average height of a woman in America. Should I not be able to breathe? Okay, my son is already 4'8", 4'9" at 9 years old. So obviously, my genetic flaw is being skipped already by my son.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, unfortunately, it didn't skip my daughter, but so I agree. I agree with what Hugh said earlier, where he keeps his spider combinations at a minimal, but quality is so much better with certain combos. He just doesn't throw it in randomly. So that goes back to, again, being educated on what works and what don't. I mentioned sable earlier. You go and you combine a spider with a sable, you are pretty much guaranteed an extremely severe corkscrew. Okay, know your genetics, and that should be with any combinations you're doing. How many super forms of very high priced jeans? The two mahogany pies I picked up recently. Again, the super form, flawed. Okay, duckbill mouth. The list goes on and on. So it's not just one. So it's not just the spider. Are we getting rid of Enchi? Are we getting rid of cinnamon? Are we getting rid of black pastel? Are we getting rid of all of these other snakes and combinations? Quality is what you make, and concentrate on what's the best to mix to not jeopardize. Again, I know Casey Reptile Lab puts a lot of blackhead into his spider combos. Why? Because the blackhead usually
Minimize.
eliminates the physical wobble, okay? Because they all have it. So yes, exactly, Troy. Tons of dog breeds have defects, but are bred in the millions. For example, the Frenchie. How many people in the ball python world have Frenchies or pit bulls? Okay, pit bulls, which are genetically dog aggressive. One of the best genetically human friendly dogs, but the most dog aggressive dog genetically. It's in their genes to want to kill other dogs. Yet We have those in abundance, okay? Frenchies that aren't even physically capable of making babies naturally. They both have to get turkey basted and they have to be cut open in order to have dogs. That's why they're so expensive.
Chihuahuas. Like, who wants chihuahuas? Like, oh my god, those. I've actually had to have chihuahuas, and they're like the yappiest dogs ever.
What I like about Chihuahuas is like they're like me. They're like little tiny things that look like pit bulls. Like
They're like,
that is
they're yappy, won't shut up, and they're tiny and think they're big. Is that what?
Troy's on a roll today. Everything is quality. There's low quality, high quality, exceptional quality. Quality is by far the most overused word in this industry business hobby. I love it. I love it. Short people rock. Okay, short people rock. I always laughed and told people, my God made my legs too short. We are instinctively fight or flight, and He made my legs too short for flight. So I had to learn to fight because I'm not running. My legs don't provide that. So I like that, Sean. I like that. When you're messing with genetics, you are in some way, shape, or form playing God or doing godly things. So just be aware of what you're doing and be responsible. I like that. And by the way, congratulations on your maternal clutch. That was very interesting and exciting, and I'm looking forward to more and more people seeing what you did and how that works. So, all right. So, same thing with English bulldogs. My daughter's English bulldog. I was having this conversation with someone yesterday. Was literally thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars throughout his career, and it sounded cruel, but the reality is that dog did not want to die. I mean, it lived 2 bulldog lifetimes by average,
Oh.
and cancer, skin conditions, hips, arthritis. I mean, it just went on and on and on. So it definitely was very, very Nacho. Yes, Nacho. Nacho is a little dog they take everywhere. What is this? This isn't that type of show.
My husband's going to work.
How's the quarter pipes coming?
Okay, they got used for like a week or two. Now they're sitting in the front.
So he spent more time building them than using them.
Huh?
He spent more time building them than using them.
Yes, he loves to build things. He like
That's
goes,
awesome.
which is great because I have him building some of my stuff.
Does he build your racks?
Well, we build them together. Yeah, I mean,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's definitely nice to have around the house.
Well, I'm planning to get some ARS in a couple months though and replace these. These were kind of temporary. Like I kind of knew in the beginning I was gonna go with like ARS or FB. I kind of wanted to get things going first, get the income rolling.
We might I'll just throw it out there. We might have some racks that we'll have available on the market one day, like soon, like maybe this summer. So keep your eyes, keep your I don't want to put our business out there yet. I don't want to expose him either. But keep your eyes and ears open.
Okay, well, can you let me know ASAP? Because I was actually about to start. I was actually about to order my ARS racks in the next couple.
Yeah, and these are gonna like give you more options. It's kind of like it'll include like some of the things that we would want racks to be able to do, like having um being able to use different size tubs or having customizable tubs and aesthetically pleasing um stuff like that. Like yeah, lower cost, same durability,
Metal.
aluminum.
Okay.
So like I said, lighter, lower cost, just as durable. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. So Sandra, we're going to wind down. Again, I want to thank you for waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to be ready by 4 o'clock and joining us. I want to thank you for. I always say the only way anyone could be successful is by pushing through their comfort zone or getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And you seem to be doing that a little bit more and more as I've seen your progression on Instagram. You know, you're taking this whole ball python thing very seriously, and you seem to be pushing through different comfort zones, and I commend you for that. It's also inspiring, you know. I've had quite a few, and I'm not saying you are. I can't see you being an introvert. It just doesn't work for you. Um, but I have. It's hard to believe. Like there's some people. I've interviewed a few introverts, and we had a great time. But you can see that they're classic introverts. You though, I don't know. I just don't see it. You're just, and if you are, you're doing our community a disservice. We need more of you out there. Okay, we need more witty people. We need more of the woman representation out there. Oh, my allergies. So please, keep doing what you're doing. I know that you're one quickly to try to help prevent people from being scammed out there. Um, didn't that happen yesterday? Did you
No.
receive one of those?
I had
Did
like
you?
4 people do that. I actually clicked on the first one stupidly because I didn't really read the whole thing. So the first person that actually I got that message from, I actually did click on it, but thankfully, like the page wouldn't load. And then, like not too long later, I got a second person. I was like, "Oh, it's a freaking scam." Okay.
Yeah, one of the things, and we're gonna leave it with this, guys. If you don't know what is in the link, and I don't care if you're my mother, if you send me a video, you send me a link, I always contact the individual first. Especially when it has that general language like I did this, it took me 3 hours, or I have a picture of you here. My family doesn't speak like that. So whenever I see anything, I have never clicked on a link without confirming what it was and that it was actually sent by the sender. So I want you guys to just keep that in mind, because once you click on those links, they're putting some sort of phishing or malware on your phones. They have access to it. They're using your accounts for not good stuff. So please be mindful. Keep sharing. Keep sharing these experiences so others don't get caught. And like I said, just try to be ahead of the game. Cassandra, I really, really appreciate you. Like I said, the greatest gift you could give anyone is the gift of time. I kept harassing you. Finally got you to give me this gift of time. And I am very grateful for it. Um,
I'm gonna try out. I'm gonna try out to do some more videos in the afternoon and see how that works out. I kind of know how it's gonna work out, but
I'm
maybe
good. Listen,
one
listen.
day.
Have you seen Chino from DMJ Reptiles?
Mhm.
Okay, well he has two. He has two AJs.
His kids ain't my kid. Okay,
Oh, he
dude.
has two. Trust me. That's
Okay,
my boy. That's my
every
boy.
every time I'm on the phone, no joke. Ask my friends. Every time I'm on the phone, my child is right here, going, "Who are you talking to? Can I talk? Can I talk? Who's
I can
this?"
hand. I can
And it's
handle it.
all the time.
I can handle it.
There's no focusing on the conversation. It's just me going, "AJ, can you please?"
I can. I can handle it. I can handle it. I can handle it. I promise you, I can handle it. And you know what? It's just about guiding that energy. A lot of parents wish their kids had that energy. It's just about guiding that energy. So
Oh, I love it. I love his energy. It's one of the things that I love the most about him. But when it comes to talking to people on the phone, that's the only time I have complaints is when I'm on the phone. But
be
any other time,
creative. That's when you put them. That's when you put them to clean tubs.
nope, he
Was
just loves to bug people on the phone. That's the thing. His energy is great elsewhere. He helps me in the garden. He helps me with, in the snake room. But when it comes to with me being on the phone and talking to someone, he has to be all up in it.
he wants mommy all to himself. So That's what it is. Sandra, thank you so much, and we will talk soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, and everyone
Yep.
else have a very happy hump day. Have a great day, everyone.